My cousin's wedding was called off 4 days after her fiancé's company tried to acquire mine for $1.2 billion. But I'm getting ahead of myself. It started 3 months ago at my grandmother's 75th birthday party. The whole family was there: aunts, uncles, cousins I hadn't seen in years. I'd flown in from San Francisco specifically for this, even though I was in the middle of closing our Series C funding round. My cousin Jessica spotted me as soon as I walked into the country club. She was holding court near the champagne fountain, showing off her engagement ring to anyone within a 10-foot radius. The ring was massive. Tasteless, in my opinion, but massive. Oh my God, Nat. She air-kissed both my cheeks. I didn't think you'd make it. Aren't you, like, super busy with your little app thing? My little app thing. That's what my family had been calling HealthTrack for the past 4 years. Never mind that we had over 15 million active users across North America and Europe. Never mind that we'd been featured in TechCrunch, Wired, and Forbes. To them, I was still playing around on computers. I made time, I said simply. Well, I'm glad you're here. You have to meet David. She grabbed my arm and pulled me toward a tall man in an expensive suit. David, this is my cousin Natalie. She does tech stuff. I don't really understand it. Something with phones. David shook my hand. He had the firm grip of someone who'd taken a seminar on power handshakes. Nice to meet you, Natalie. What do you do exactly? Before I could answer, Jessica jumped in. She makes fitness apps or something. You know, like those things that count your steps. It's cute, really. She's always been into computers and stuff. Kind of nerdy. She said it affectionately, but there was that edge. That subtle condescension that I'd been hearing my entire life. I work in digital health, I said. That's great, David said politely. Always good to have a hobby. Jessica laughed and pulled him away to meet someone more important. I stood there, champagne glass in hand, and told myself I didn't care. I'd stopped caring about my family's opinion years ago. That's what I told myself anyway. My grandmother found me later, sitting alone on the terrace. Why are you out here, sweetheart? The party's inside. Just needed some air, Grandma. She sat down beside me, moving slower than I remembered. 75. Where had the time gone? Your cousin is very excited about her wedding, she said. I can tell. She invited the whole family. It's going to be quite the event. David's family is very prominent. His father owns some sort of consulting company. Very successful. That's nice. She looked at me with those sharp eyes that had always seen too much. You're not happy, Natalie. I'm fine, Grandma. You work too hard. You're 31 years old. When I was your age, I already had 3 children. Here we go. Different times, Grandma. Your mother worries about you. All alone in California, working all the time, she says you never call. I call. Maybe you should think about settling down, finding a nice man. Jessica has found someone wonderful. Maybe you could. Grandma, I really need to check my email. I stood up, kissed her cheek. Love you. I went to the bathroom and locked myself in a stall. Pulled out my phone. Checked Slack. Our head of product was having issues with the new medication reminder feature. I sent her a quick message, then opened my email. There was one from our CFO with the subject line, Confidential, Acquisition Interest. I read it 3 times. Hartman Consulting Group had reached out through back channels. They wanted to acquire HealthTrack. Initial offer, $1.2 billion. Hartman Consulting Group. David's last name was Hartman. I sat there on that toilet seat in the country club bathroom, at my grandmother's birthday party, and started laughing. Not because it was funny, because it was so absurdly perfect that I couldn't quite believe it was real. I composed myself and went back to the party. Found Jessica still surrounded by admirers. Your fiancé, I said casually. His family company. That's Hartman Consulting Group, right? Yes. His father started it, but David basically runs it now. He's brilliant. They do healthcare consulting, work with hospitals and insurance companies. Very lucrative. She leaned in conspiratorially. Between you and me, the company is worth over $5 billion. Can you imagine? Wow, I said. That's impressive. I know, right? And David is being groomed to take over completely. His father wants to retire in a few years. We're going to be set for life. She touched my arm. Don't worry, Nat. You'll find someone too. Maybe someone in tech? I hear those guys make decent money. I smiled. Maybe. That night, I flew back to San Francisco. We had a board meeting in the morning to discuss the acquisition offer. By the end of the week, we'd agreed to preliminary due diligence. Hartman Consulting Group wanted to expand their digital offerings, and HealthTrack was the perfect fit. The next month was chaos. Lawyers, accountants, endless meetings. David Hartman himself led most of the negotiations. He was professional, sharp, clearly good at his job. He didn't recognize me. Why would he? We'd met once, briefly, at a birthday party. I was just his fiancé's nerdy cousin who made step-counting apps. I didn't correct him. Our head of legal thought it was hilarious. You're really not going to tell him? Why would I? It's not relevant to the deal, Natalie. Come on. The man is about to pay over $1 billion for your company. He should probably know you're the founder and CEO. He'll figure it out eventually. You're terrible. I prefer strategic. 8 weeks after my grandmother's party, I got the call from Jessica. Nat. Oh my God, I have the best news. What's up? So you know how the wedding is in 3 weeks? Well, David and I were talking, and we really want to keep it intimate. Just immediate family and close friends. You understand, right? I understood perfectly. You're uninviting me. Don't say it like that. It's not personal. We're cutting the guest list way down. We realized we wanted something more intimate, you know? More meaningful, and since you're so busy with work anyway, I figured you wouldn't mind missing it, right? You're not mad, are you? No, Jessica. I'm not mad. Great. I knew you'd understand. You're so chill about stuff like this. That's what I love about you. No drama. After I hung up, I sat at my desk looking out at the San Francisco skyline. My assistant knocked on the door. Miss Park? Mr. Hartman is here for the 3 o'clock. Send him in. This was it. The final negotiation meeting before we signed the term sheet. David walked in with his team, 3 lawyers and 2 consultants. I stood to greet them, flanked by my CFO and head of legal. Miss Park, David said, shaking my hand. Thank you for making time. I know your schedule is. He stopped. Stared at me. Wait. Have we met before? Once, I said. Briefly. At my grandmother's birthday party. I'm Jessica's cousin. The color drained from his face. You're Jessica's cousin. The one who makes the fitness apps. Digital health platform, I corrected gently. But yes. His lawyers exchanged glances. One of them cleared his throat. Perhaps we should. No, David said. No, it's fine. I didn't realize. Jessica never mentioned that you were the founder and CEO of the company you're trying to acquire? I smiled. It didn't come up. We sat down. The meeting was awkward but professional. David kept stealing glances at me like he couldn't quite believe what was happening. When we got to the valuation discussion, he seemed to have trouble focusing. Mr. Hartman, I said finally. Is there a problem? No. No problem. I'm just trying to understand why you didn't mention this before. At the party, you didn't ask what I did. You assumed. Jessica said you made apps. I do. Among other things. He rubbed his face. This is unexpected. Is it relevant to the deal? No. Of course not. The company stands on its own merits. I just feel, I don't know. Foolish, I suppose. Why? He couldn't answer that. We continued the meeting. By the end, we'd agreed on a final valuation, $1.24 billion, with performance earnouts that could take it to $1.5 billion over 3 years. We'd sign the term sheet the following week. David lingered after his team left. Natalie, he said. I owe you an apology. For what? For being dismissive. At the party. I made assumptions about you based on what Jessica said. That was wrong. You treated me the way my family has always treated me, I said. Like my work is a cute hobby, like I'm playing at being a businessperson. You're not unique in that, David. He He looked uncomfortable. Jessica talks about you sometimes. She says you're the smart one in the family. That you always had your head in books and computers. And that makes me what? Less worthy of respect? Less interesting? Less successful? I didn't say that. You didn't have to. Look, David, I don't hold it against you. You're marrying into my family. You'll figure out pretty quickly that they don't really know what I do. They don't ask. They're not interested. That's fine. I stopped needing their approval a long time ago. For what it's worth, he said, this acquisition is happening because HealthTrack is the best digital health platform we've evaluated. Your team is brilliant. The technology is years ahead of competitors. This has nothing to do with family. I know. That's why I'm taking the meeting. After he left, my CFO poked her head in. How'd it go? He figured it out. And nothing. The deal is still on. You're still not going to tell Jessica, are you? Why would I? She uninvited me from her wedding yesterday. My CFO started laughing. You're kidding. I wish I was. This is going to be spectacular. The term sheet was signed the following Tuesday. The news broke on Wednesday. TechCrunch ran it as their lead story. Hartman Consulting Group to acquire HealthTrack for $1.24 in push for digital health dominance. My phone started ringing around 8 a.m. Pacific time. My mother, my aunt, 3 cousins I hadn't heard from in years. I let them all go to voicemail. I was in back-to-back meetings anyway, press briefings, employee town halls, investor calls. Jessica's call came at 2 p.m. I was in the middle of an interview with Forbes when my phone started buzzing. I glanced at it and kept talking. She called 4 more times before I finally answered, around 6 p.m. Natalie. Her voice was strained. Why didn't you tell me? Tell you what, don't play dumb. The acquisition. David's company is buying yours. For over $1 billion. $1 billion? Natalie. Yes, I'm aware. You're the CEO. You founded the company. You. How long have you been the CEO? 7 years. Silence. Then, 7 years. And you never told anyone. I told people. I just didn't tell our family. They never asked. That's not fair. You deliberately hid this from us. I didn't hide anything, Jessica. I've been running HealthTrack since I was 24. It's been written about in every major tech publication. We've been on Good Morning America. I gave a TED Talk that has over 10 million views. I didn't hide it. Your family just didn't pay attention. You made us look stupid. I made you look stupid? Jessica, you uninvited me from your wedding yesterday because I'm too busy with my little app thing. Your fiancé tried to buy my company without realizing I was the founder. I didn't make anyone look stupid. You did that all on your own. I could hear her breathing on the other end. David is really upset. About what? The deal is solid. Our lawyers are finalizing the acquisition agreement. This is good for his company. He's upset because he feels like an idiot. His entire family is asking why he didn't know his fiancé's cousin was the CEO. His father is furious. He's saying David didn't do proper due diligence. That's not true. His team did excellent due diligence. They just didn't connect the dots because why would they? I'm just the nerdy cousin, remember? Natalie, please. Can you help smooth this over? How? I don't know. Talk to David? Tell him you deliberately kept it secret. But I didn't. I mentioned at the party that I work in digital health. He told me it was nice that I had a hobby. You told him I make step counting apps. You've spent years telling everyone in the family that I'm wasting my Stanford degree on some startup that will probably fail. Why would I volunteer more information to people who clearly don't value what I do? That's not fair, isn't it? She was crying now. You're ruining my wedding. I'm doing business, Jessica. Your wedding has nothing to do with me. You uninvited me, remember? David wants to postpone. That stopped me. What? The wedding. He wants to postpone it. He says he needs time to think. His parents are asking questions about me now. About why I didn't know about you. About what else I might not know. They're saying we rushed into this. Jessica, I'm sorry that's happening, but you're not sorry. You're enjoying this. Was I? Maybe a little. Jessica. Listen to me. This has nothing to do with you. The acquisition is a business decision. It's not personal. Everything is personal, Natalie. You've always been jealous of me. The pretty one, the popular one. You hated that I was getting married to someone successful. David is successful. So am I. Those things aren't mutually exclusive. You could have warned me. When you first found out they wanted to acquire your company, you could have told me. Would you have believed me? If I'd called you 3 months ago and said, "Hey Jessica, David's company wants to buy mine for over $1 billion, would you have taken me seriously? Or would you have thought I was making it up?" Silence. "That's what I thought," I said. She hung up. My mother called an hour later. "Natalie Marie Park, what is going on?" "Hi, Mom. I'm good, thanks for asking. How are you?" "Don't be smart with me." Jessica is devastated. Her wedding might be cancelled. David's family is upset. And apparently you're some kind of millionaire. Billionaire, actually. On paper, at least, most of it's tied up in equity. This isn't funny. I'm not joking, Mom. The acquisition values my stake at about $340 million pre-tax. If the earnouts hit, it could be closer to $425 million. Why didn't you tell us? I tried to, Mom. Multiple times. Remember when I sent everyone the TechCrunch article about our Series B funding? Nobody read it. Remember when I invited everyone to our office opening in San Francisco? Nobody came. I stopped trying to involve the family in my work because the family made it clear they weren't interested. That's not true. We're very proud of you. Are you? Because 3 months ago at Grandma's party, you introduced me to your book club friends as my daughter who's still trying to figure out what she wants to do with her life. I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it? She didn't answer. Mom, I love you. I love this family. But you have to understand, I've been invisible to all of you for years. My success, my work, my life. It doesn't fit into the narrative you've created about who I am. Jessica's the successful one. She's marrying rich. She's doing everything right. I'm just the weird tech girl who never found a husband. Natalie, I'm not angry, Mom. I really not. I made peace with this a long time ago. I built a life that makes me happy. I have work that fulfills me. I have friends who respect what I do. I don't need the family's approval anymore. But I also won't apologize for succeeding. The wedding was postponed 3 days later. Jessica sent a group text to the family. Due to unforeseen circumstances, David and I have decided to postpone our wedding. We appreciate your understanding during this difficult time. My aunt called me, furious. You ruined your cousin's wedding. I closed a business deal. You could have warned her. She didn't want to hear it. My grandmother was the only one who took my side. She called me a week after everything exploded. Natalie, sweetheart, how are you holding up? I'm fine, Grandma. Busy with the acquisition closing, but fine. Your mother tells me you're very rich now. I laughed. The press seems to think so. Good. You always were the smartest one in the family. I'm glad someone finally recognized it. Thanks, Grandma. Your cousin is very upset with you. I know. She says you humiliated her on purpose. I didn't. I didn't go out of my way to correct anyone's assumptions about me. Is that wrong? No, sweetheart. It's not wrong. But it's sad. What is? That you felt you couldn't share your success with your family. That we made you feel like you had to hide who you were. I felt my throat tighten. I didn't hide, Grandma. I was right here the whole time. Everyone just chose not to see. I know. And that's on us. Not you. 2 weeks later, David called me. We'd been communicating through lawyers, but this was personal. Natalie. Do you have a minute? Sure. I wanted to let you know Jessica and I are going to counseling. Couples therapy. We're trying to work through some things. That's good. I hope it helps. One of the things that came up is, I think I fell in love with an image of Jessica. The perfect society wife. The right connections. The right family. I never really asked who she was as a person. What she valued. What she knew about the people she loved. David, you don't have to explain this to me. I know. But I want to. Because I did the same thing to you. I saw what I expected to see. I didn't ask questions. I didn't look deeper. That's not the kind of person I want to be. In business or in life. Okay. The acquisition is going through. My father actually respects you more now that he knows the full story. He says you're a better negotiator than he realized. You let us show our cards without showing yours. I wasn't negotiating, David. I was just existing. Being myself. It's not my fault everyone made assumptions. I know. And you're right. That's on us. He paused. For what it's worth, Jessica is trying to understand. She's realizing she doesn't actually know much about you. She wants to fix that. That would be nice. Would you be willing to meet with her? Talk. Maybe. Eventually. I need some space right now. I understand. The acquisition closed 6 weeks later. The press covered it extensively. Forbes did a profile on me, the quiet CEO. How Natalie Park built a billion-dollar digital health empire while her family thought she was playing with apps. My family read the article. My mother called, crying. My aunt sent a long email apologizing. Even Jessica reached out, asking if we could have coffee when I was in town next. I didn't respond immediately. I was too busy celebrating with my team, planning our integration strategy, thinking about what came next. But late that night, alone in my apartment, I allowed myself to feel it. Not anger, not vindication, just relief. Relief that I didn't have to pretend anymore. Relief that the truth was finally out there. My grandmother was right. It was sad. Sad that it took a billion-dollar acquisition for my family to see me. Sad that I'd felt invisible for so long. But maybe it was also a beginning. A chance to rebuild those relationships on honest ground. Without assumptions. Without underestimation. Or maybe not. Maybe some relationships aren't meant to be rebuilt. Either way, I'd be fine. I'd built an empire while they thought I was counting steps. I'd negotiated a 9-figure deal while they patted my head and called it cute. I didn't need their validation to know my worth. But it would have been nice if they'd asked.